Joe worked slowly and methodically around the back and sides as Sarah focused on her breathing, willing herself not to freak out. The sterile smell of shorn hair filled her senses. She reminded herself this was not like last time. Once the back and sides were smoothly buzzed, Joe switched to scissors. Sarah opened her eyes, feeling better now, for the hard part being over. She watched Joe carefully trim and texturize the longer top layers. Sarah smiled happily at the barber as she examined her stylish new undercut in the mirror. "Thank you so much. I love it," she exclaimed. "You did such an amazing job." The barber smiled back. "I'm glad you're happy with it. This shorter style will need to be maintained regularly to keep it looking neat." Sarah nodded. "Yes, exactly. How often do you think I'll need to come back to get it trimmed and cleaned up?" "I'd recommend coming back every 2 to 3 weeks, the barber replied. "We'll just need to use the clippers to shave the back and sides again, keeping it faded. It takes about 15 minutes each time to maintain." "That sounds perfect," Sarah said. "I'll be sure to make regular appointments so you can keep it freshly buzzed on the sides and back for me." The barber removed the cape and swept up the shorn hair around the chair. Sarah took out her wallet. "So, how much do I owe you for today's cut?" "For a basic buzz cut trim, it's $15, the barber told her. Sarah paid the $15 and added a $5 tip, thanking the barber again for his skillful work and for making her feel comfortable. She made her next appointment for 2 weeks out, excited to keep her edgy undercut hairstyle looking its best. Sarah left the barber shop with her dramatically shortened hair. The shorn locks now ended right at her neck, with shorter layers grazing her face. Sarah smiled, thinking about how much had changed in just a week. She stood up from the park bench, no longer bothered by the disapproving stares of the older couple that had been there earlier. Running her hand over her shaved head again, she decided to head to the botanical gardens once more. The warm sun felt soothing on her exposed scalp as she walked. She imagined how different this visit would be compared to her last one, when her long locks flowed down her back. Now her neck felt light and airy. A gentle breeze ruffled the short hairs on top of her head. Sarah wandered slowly through the gardens, appreciating the vibrant flowers and greenery around her. She paused by a reflecting pool, chuckling at her nearly bald reflection looking back at her. Some more conservative visitors eyed her warily, but she paid them no mind. She found a bench surrounded by roses and sat down, closing her eyes and tilting her face up to feel the sun's rays. Sarah took a deep breath, embracing this new version of herself. The old Sarah with the cascading blonde hair felt like a distant memory now. She went to the house and took a shower. She changed and looked fresh, and her mother and father were not at home. Sarah finished showering and changing clothes after her visit to the botanical gardens. With her parents still not home, she decided to take advantage of the empty house to further explore her new dramatically short hairstyle. She went back to the bathroom and checked herself out in the mirror again, turning her head from side to side. The buzz cut was still a shock, but she had to admit it looked kind of edgy and punk rock. She styled the short layers on top with some gel, spiking them up. "Not bad," Sarah murmured to herself. Feeling bold, she opened up her mom's makeup drawer and pulled out some black eyeliner. She rimmed her eyes heavily, giving herself dark, smoky eyes to match her alternative new hairstyle. Next, she went into her room and started going through her closet. She pushed aside all the floral sundresses and casual t-shirts. In the back, she found an old black miniskirt and leather jacket she had bought at a vintage shop, but never worn. Sarah paired the outfit with a studded choker and some beat-up boots. She barely recognized herself in the mirror with her severe makeup and all-black punk ensemble. Her buzz cut completed the rebellious look. Just then, Sarah heard the front door open as her parents returned home. She took a deep breath, readying herself for their reaction to both her dramatic new style and the fact that she was wearing her mom's makeup. "Sarah, we're home!" her mom called up the stairs. The sound of their footsteps approached. Sarah flung open her bedroom door right as her parents reached the top of the stairs. They both froze, jaws dropping. Her dad found his voice first. Honey, what exactly are you wearing?" he asked uncertainly. Her mom was speechless, just staring at Sarah's smudged black eyes and chopped off hair. Sarah jutted out her chin. "It's just a new look I'm trying. Do you like it?" Her parents exchanged an uneasy glance. Finally, her mom said gently, "It's certainly different. But the important thing is if you feel comfortable." "I do feel comfortable," Sarah said confidently. "This style reflects who I am now." Her dad scratched his head, still looking taken aback by his daughter's dramatic transformation. But he smiled and said, "Well, okay then, punk rock princess, as long as you're happy." Sarah grinned. Her parents may need more time to get used to her bold new look, but she felt liberated. After exploring her dramatic new style at home, Sarah was ready to see how her friends would react to the buzz cut and punk rock makeover. She touched up her smoky eye makeup and added some dark red lipstick. As she walked to meet her friends downtown, she noticed people staring and double-taking at her exposed scalp and heavy eye makeup. But Sarah kept her head high, strutting confidently in her miniskirt and boots. At the coffee shop, Sarah's friends' mouths dropped open when they saw her. "Oh, my God!" her friend Melissa exclaimed. "Your hair, your clothes, what did you do?" Sarah laughed. "Like it? I wanted to go for a bit of an edgy, alternative vibe." Another friend, Jen, looked impressed. "Wow, Sarah, I never thought you had this wild side to you. The buzz cut looks awesome." The friends spent the afternoon chatting and catching up. Sarah's new look was definitely the talk of the table, but her friends were supportive. Even the ones who admitted her dramatic style took some getting used to. Later, Sarah met up with her boyfriend James downtown. She smirked, seeing his eyes widen at her exposed neck and severe makeup. "Hey, James, what do you think?" she asked coyly. James seemed momentarily speechless. It's definitely a change," he said carefully. "Are you going for, like, a Joan Jett look or something?" Sarah laughed. "Yeah, I guess you could say that. I wanted to mix things up. Don't you think it's hot?" James took a moment to find his words. "You look great no matter what," he finally said diplomatically. "Just as long as I still get to run my hands through your hair." "Well, there's a bit less now to grab onto," Sarah joked, taking his hand. "But there's plenty of other stuff you can touch."